Xiao Xianglin had already obtained a legendary mantra. She, Luo Zhiyang, and the others looked from afar, only leaving behind a giant boulder. She really hoped that Chunxiang could obtain this last legendary mantra. Seems like the main point of obtaining the legendary mantra's recognition is to see one's comprehension towards the Tao creation's incantations. Luo Zhiyang said, "This girl's perception is very high, so she is the fastest to obtain it. We old fellows have studied the Tao creation's incantations for many years, so our comprehension is not bad. It is only a matter of time before we get the approval of the legendary mantra." Xianxia said in a low voice, "Doesn't that mean that Chunxiang has no hope of obtaining the legendary mantra?" Yuer sighed. Chunxiang's learning speed of the Tao creation's incantations is rather slow. He doesn't have much comprehension towards the Tao creation's incantations. He used a lot of time to comprehend the incantations. The Mortal Life sect leader laughed coldly. "Women's perspective, you actually think that Brat has a chance of obtaining the legendary mantra? He was just here to join in the fun. Do you know how many young disciples are here? However, after they tried, they gave up. That is because they knew very well that it was impossible to obtain legendary mantra." Xiao Xianglin was not happy, he snorted. "You look down on me? This lady obtained the legendary mantra before you. In that case, you're not even better than me." Gu Tong laughed. "Girl, your disciple's comprehension towards the Tao creation's incantations is not good enough. This is the truth. You are born with extremely high comprehension ability. You are much stronger than all of us, and we admit that." Luo Zhiyang nodded. Chunxiang should not have any hope anymore. The Tao creation's incantations formed a maze around him. The moment his spirit energy entered the maze, it was difficult to find the exit for him. If he wanted to enter the huge boulder with his spirit energy, he had to let his spirit energy through the maze. "If you give me a certain amount of time, that would be no problem at all. But right now, time waits for no one. If I cannot quickly let my mental power through this maze, then others will obtain the legendary mantra, and at that time I will have no chance anymore." Su Yun said in a low voice. Chunxiang was extremely anxious. He had obtained this opportunity for the legendary mantra, and this was an extremely rare opportunity. If he were to miss it, he did not know when it would happen. Just as Chunxiang was at his wit's end, he suddenly thought of the who he had previously subdued. "Who? You were originally formed by a legendary mantra. Can you help me enter that huge boulder?" Chunxiang and who communicated with each other. Who responded quickly. "Master, I can help you. You need me to temporarily fuse with your spirit power." Who's voice sounded out in Chunxiang's mind. "No problem. Let's hurry up." Chunxiang cursed himself for forgetting the tiger. If not, he would have succeeded long ago. Who released his mental force. He had already established the master-servant contract with Chunxiang, so his mental force could sense each other. Who was an extremely powerful fusion spell life form, easily merging with Chunxiang's mental force. Chunxiang let whose mental energy bring him through the maze formed by the Tao creation's incantation. Not long after, his mental energy smoothly passed through the maze. Chunxiang only felt that after his spirit energy had passed through the maze, his body had suddenly become light and graceful, and then he felt a strong suction force pulling him away. When Luo Zhiyang and the others saw the boulder tremble, their eyes opened wide. They did not expect that it was Chunxiang who was sucked in by the boulder. This. Gu Tong only felt a stinging pain on his cheek, because before, he had said with absolute certainty that Chunxiang no longer had any hope. If it wasn't him, Luo Zhiyang and the other elders were the same. "Ha ha! As expected of my disciple Xiao Xianglin, we both received legendary mantras." Xiao Xianglin giggled happily. Luo Zhiyang and the rest were fine. They only felt that it was a little embarrassing that their previous conclusion had been overturned. After all, they were people who had obtained the legendary mantra. As for those leaders and elders who did not receive their legendary mantra, their intestines had turned green. They were cursing Xiao Xianglin and Chunxiang in their hearts. But these two brats who suddenly popped out took their two spots. Of course, with the exception of the Dragon Elephant School, because Chunxiang and Xiao Xianglin were both disciples of their Dragon Elephant School. He naturally had a very happy smile on his face. Aya, the disciples of our Dragon Elephant School are really powerful. The Dragon Elephant School laughed non-stop, especially when he saw those people whose faces turned green without obtaining the legendary mantra. He laughed even more complacently. This is fate. Dragon Elephant School laughed. If I don't get it, then I don't. There is nothing to complain about. I have already made the appointment. Those people cursed silently in their hearts. 2 of the Dragon Elephant School's disciples had obtained legendary mantra. If 2 of their disciples from their sect had obtained legendary mantra, they would not complain about it, and will laugh even more happily. All right, let's wait for the little devil to come out. Then we can leave. Gutong said. We no longer need to enter the main group. Xiao Xianglin was complacent in his heart. If not for the fact that she and Xianxia had snuck in, he would have come out before the full moon even started. When that time comes, you can leave. We will continue to stay here. Luo Jiang suddenly said. Old Luo, is there something else hidden here? A man asked hurriedly. I don't know either. I only found this place previously. I didn't explore it in detail. Luo Jiang said. This place is filled with dangers. If we are not careful, we could end up here, so you all want to continue exploring here. Make sure to make preparations. Old Luo, are you trying to scare us? What's so scary about this place? I don't see anything amazing about it. Could it be that transparent thing? Said. He was very disappointed that he did not obtain the legendary mantra, so he wanted to stay and see if he could find the legendary mantra. I'm just telling you guys first, so that you won't blame me if you die in the future. Luo Jiang stroked his long beard and laughed. How could they blame him if he died? Over 10 old fellows decided to continue exploring this area. Originally, they thought that they would have to wait for 2 days before Xianxia would come out. Right now, there was only a complicated legendary mantra in Xianxia's mind. This could be considered as having obtained a legendary mantra. As for what kind of legendary mantra it was, even he himself was not clear, and only he would know if it was condensed. Why are you so fast? Xiao Xianglin felt that Xianxia was extremely abnormal. She was very clear about Xianxia's ability to comprehend the runes on the Tao creation. The reason why Xianxia could come out so quickly was all because of Ahu's help. Ahu was extremely familiar with these legendary mantra, and in an instant, he could help Xianxia merge the legendary mantra into his memories. I don't know either. I just came out in a daze. Xianxia said. Although everyone doubted Xianxia's words, they could not do anything about it as they could not explain the situation Xianxia was in. We will remove the barrier and bring you out of it. Luo Jiang said. They are going to continue exploring this place. Xiao Xianglin immediately explained to Xianxia. Let's honestly go back and learn legendary mantra. I already can't wait to see what abilities that legendary mantra has. Xianxia nodded his head. Although Xiao Xianglin had spoken very earnestly, he didn't know why, but it was as if he could hear what Xiao Xianglin was thinking. His meaning was to first leave, then run in and explore for a while. All right, let's go back now. Luo Jiang himself had already obtained 2 legendary mantra, and upon seeing his own grandson, his face brimmed with a joyous smile. Some people were happy while others were worried. Those people who did not obtain the legendary mantra were the most unhappy, mainly because 2 kids had obtained it and seized their chance. This made them the most uncomfortable, but they could not do anything about it. They could not even complain. This time, Xianxia and the others followed the big team out and were extremely at ease. If something really powerful really did appear, they did not have to worry. With Luo Jiang and Gutong here, it would be easy to take care of them. 2 days later, they arrived at the edge of the barrier. It was not easy for them to exit from the barrier, but Luo Jiang had used an array disk to open a hole for them to exit from. The outside of the barrier had long since been filled with people. Because they had already seen a large group of people at the peak of the mountain, they all rushed over. When Xiao Hengyong saw Xianxia and Xiao Xianglin coming out, he and his wife immediately rushed over. Previously, on the road, Xiao Xianglin had told the dragon elephant leader to help him stop her parents. Just as Xiao Hengyong rolled up his sleeves, the dragon elephant leader walked over hastily and smiled. Congratulations, brother Xiao, sister. You didn't know that Xiang Luan and his little disciple each obtained a legendary mantra. Even I do not have the chance to get the legendary mantra, but they did. Her, isn't it? Tao Creation also walked over and laughed. There are only a total of 7 legendary mantra, but those 2 brats got 2. When Xiao Hongyong and Ning Qian heard this, their strained faces immediately turned into smiles, and they continuously stroked Xiao Xianglin's head. This is a good thing. The husband and wife were elders from the Dragon Elephant sect, so they naturally knew what a legendary mantra meant, and out of the 7, Xiao Xianglin and Xiao Xianglin had already gotten 2. Wouldn't that mean that out of the 10 sects leaders, as well as the many big shots from the various families of the Dragon Controlling Palace, most of them had not obtained any legendary mantra S? Xiao Xianglin had originally planned to sneak in with Chun Xiang after they came out. However, it seemed that it was impossible now. They would definitely be watched thoroughly. Just like this, Xiao Xianglin and Chun Xiang followed the large group of people from the Dragon and Elephant Mountain Range and returned to the Dragon and Elephant Gate. Because Xiao Xianglin was restricted by her parents, she didn't participate in the Dangerous Fusion Spell S competition, so her strength had been greatly restricted. Now that she had obtained the legendary mantra S, it could be said that she was proud and arrogant. Even their Dragon Elephant S could not get it, but Xiao Xianglin and Chun Xiang did. Father, mother, I told Chun Xiang before that I would take him to gain experience. He lacks battle experience, so I plan to take him to hunt Fury Beast S of similar cultivation level. Xiao Xianglin said to Xiao Hongyong. Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin sat in Xiao Hongyong's cart, with the 8 dragon elephants pulling them. This won't do if he wants to increase his combat experience. Wait until he steps into the world-defying stage divine rank. Right now, it's useless for him to increase his combat experience as the Fury Beast S he goes to fight are all on par with him, not the world-defying stage divine rank. Xiao Hongyong rejected her. Previously, when Chun Xiang brought Xiao Xianglin and ran away, it made Xiao Hongyong and Ning Qian be on guard. They all knew that Chun Xiang had a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Seeing the complexions of Xiao Hongyong and Ning Qian, Chun Xiang could foresee that once they returned to the Dragon Elephant Gate, they would definitely be watched thoroughly. Chun Xiang did not want to be constantly restricted, so he was thinking of a way. Xiao Xianglin also knew that her parents would be more strict with her in the future. She felt extremely helpless. Good disciple. I'm sorry, Master has implicated you. Xiao Xianglin could guess that her parents would also definitely discipline Chun Xiang severely in the future. It's fine. We'll do whatever it takes. Chun Xiang smiled and replied, but Master, you have to compensate me something, right? How about I gift you Xianger and Yuer? Xiao Xianglin laughed. These 2 girls seem to really like you too. How can this be enough? It's more or less the same as sending me off with you. Chun Xiang teased. Xiao Xianglin glared fiercely at Chun Xiang. You bad boy, the beauty in your 6 realms mirrors is no worse than me. You're actually still thinking about me. And also Luo Jiuyang's grandson. Xiao Shuangshuang and I are only friends. As for the women in the 6 realms mirrors, that poisonous woman has nothing to do with me, and I am enemies with her. It's just that, because of a few things, we are cooperating with each other. Chun Xiang explained. Humph, if my parents were to find out that you, as their disciple, had the intention to harm Master, I guarantee that they would immediately press you to death. Xiao Xianglin sent a sound transmission to Chun Xiang with a smile. Chun Xiang curled his lips. He was only joking with Xiao Xianglin. Late at night, the carriage suddenly stopped. Xiao Hongyong and Ning Qian's face darkened. Obviously something bad had happened. Father, mother, what's wrong? Xiao Xianglin asked anxiously. There are a lot of people ahead who want to stop us. I wonder who it is. Xiao Hongyong said, I'll have the carriage land on the ground. If there were many people blocking them in the air, then there was only one possibility, and that was the Dragon Controlling Palace. It's the Dragon Controlling Palace. Ning Shi frowned. What are these guys trying to do? Xiao Hongyong and the others were the fastest, so they were not with the large group and continued to fly in the air. After the carriage landed on the ground, Xiao Hongyong's face became serious. There are 10 of them in total, all of them from the late period of world-defying magic realm. They are a bit difficult to deal with. Xiao Hongyong walked out of the carriage, came outside and shouted loudly, "What business do you dragon-controlling gods have? We would like to invite our 2 young friends to the dragon-controlling palace for a seat." A dragon-controlling gods dressed in black spoke. Xiao Hongyong and the others immediately understood that the reason they were here was for their legendary mantra. Xiao Hongyong never thought that the dragon-controlling palace would actually want to abduct Xianxia and Xiao Xianglin, and then think of a way to obtain their legendary mantra. Aren't you worried about the conflict between the dragon-elephant sect and the dragon-controlling palace? Xiao Hongyong did not want to fight anymore. Their husband would naturally be able to handle the 10 dragon-controlling gods. But with Xianxiang and Xianxiang here, it would not be easy for them to protect the juniors. We are not the dragon-controlling palaces, because from now on, we have already been expelled from the dragon-controlling palace. The leading dragon-controlling gods laughed and said. Their words were very clear. Once these dragon-controlling gods were caught, they would refuse to admit that they were the ones who sent them, just to say that they had long been expelled from the dragon-controlling palace. These 10 dragon-controlling gods in front of him were definitely death warriors of the dragon-controlling palace. For the sake of the dragon-controlling palace, they would even throw away their lives. "Father, mother, why don't we run first? Xianxiang is really fast," Xiao Xianglin said with a sound transmission. Xiao Hongyong and the others did not doubt Xianxiang's ability to escape, which made them feel a lot more at ease. "All right, all of you hurry back to the gate of the Dragon Elephant Mountain. You can't run all over the place," Xiao Hongyong said, but he could only allow Xianxiang to escape. Otherwise, if they were here, they would definitely be dragged down and might even get kidnapped in the end. Xianxiang, who was inside the carriage, took out the 6 realms mirrors, and Xianger and Yuer went in. "Mom, you guys have to be careful." Xiao Xianglin was still a little worried. "Silly girl. Even if your parents can't beat them, they won't hurt you. You just need to return to the Dragon Elephant Gate safely." Ning Qian lightly caressed Xiao Xianglin's face, then sternly warned, "You must return to Dragon Elephant's Gate, and don't wander around everywhere." "Got it." Xiao Xianglin nodded, and then entered the 6 realms mirrors with Xianger. "Elder Ning, don't worry," Xiang laughed. When he entered the 6 realms mirrors and used counter power, the 6 realms mirrors had already become invisible, and its aura had disappeared completely. This made Ning Qian very surprised, and now she finally understood why Xiang and the rest were able to leave quietly. Xiang controlled the 6 realms mirrors and it flew away silently. Ning, she didn't feel anything at all. She just reached out to fish for it, and only after confirming that the 6 realms mirrors was gone, was she able to relax. She also secretly exclaimed in her heart, "They left. Did the guys outside not notice?" Ning Qian told Xiao Hongyong. "I didn't find anything," Xiao Hongyong said, because he did not feel it either. Inside the 6 realms mirrors, Xiao Xianglin was extremely angry. "Dragon-controlling palace, these bastards. I will definitely teach them a lesson, and actually want to snatch the legendary mantra of my master and disciple from them. Once I learn this legendary mantra and grasp great power, I will definitely let them know why flower is so red." "Master, should we return to the gate now?" The 6 realms mirrors could only fly at a low altitude. He planned to let Xiao Xianglin help him refine it when he had the time, so that by joining the flying mantra, the 6 realms mirrors would be able to fly at a higher altitude. "No, go inside the barrier," Xiao Xianglin scoffed. "You clearly know what I mean. Why are you asking so many questions?" Xiang grinned as the 6 realms mirrors flew towards the barrier. "Is your Ahu better? When we get inside, we'll need his help," Xiao Xianglin asked. "It's almost done." Xiang looked at Ahu's condition. It was still okay. Ahu had merged with 2 dragon horse and became a little stronger. Xiao Shuangshuang is not here. Where did she go? And Xiaokur? They've never been here before, and she's the only one here. Xiao Xianglin pointed to Yifengyuan, who was seated at the side. "She's inside my divine sense sea world." Xiang said, "You can't go in. Why is Xiao Shuangshuang able to do it?" Xianger stuck out her tongue. "Do you have some kind of unspeakable secret?" I have many secrets. Xianxia laughed. No, I want to go to that place. Xianxia pretended to be strict. I am your master. Xianxia thought for a while, thinking that Xianxia had an astonishing incantation of the Tao creation. It would also be a good thing for her to teach the other girls in the Yuyao Mountain Villa. All right, I'll let you guys into play. Remember, don't mess around in there. Xianxia warned. After Xianxia entered, she did not expect that there would be such a beautiful world inside. What was even more unexpected was that there were several peerless beauties inside, and all of these beauties had their own charisma. Qin Shuang had seen Qin Shuang and her before, Su Meiyao, Bai Yuyu and Long Shui, as well as a few of Mei Jing's sisters' female core spirits. Xianxia had not seen any of them. Qin Shuang introduced Su Meiyao and the others to them. Now, Xianxia already knew that Su Meiyao, Bai Yuyu, and Long Shui were all his wives, and couldn't help but curse Xianxia in his heart. He already had several wives, but he still thought of her. His disciple's wife was also his disciple, but Xianxia couldn't put on the airs of a master in front of Bai Yuyu and the others, especially the two girls, Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao, who had that kind of peerless temperament, made Xianxia secretly exclaim in his heart. Although Xiang'er and Yu'er were very strong, they did not dare to underestimate Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao. Of course, Long Shui, this sweet and cute girl, didn't give them any pressure. However, after they found out that Long Shui was a white dragon, they were completely dumbstruck. Real dragons were rare here, almost extinct. This was mainly caused by the hunting of humans, but according to the legends, powerful dragons still existed. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu calling Xianxia as master extremely cordially, which made Xianxia very happy as well. After that, he quickly approached them, and later on, she found out that Su Meiyao was refining a crystal emperor and using a fusion spell at that. When Xianxia and the other two found out that the crystal empress were formed from a young female pill spirit, they felt that their knowledge of the world was too little. To think that there was actually such a thing existing. Master, I need to learn more fusion spell. Otherwise, after the Crystal Emperor and the Crystal Emperor fuse, it will not be able to produce the highest quality. Su Meiyao was innately charming, and her coquettish actions were even more unbearable. All right, you've already called me master. I will naturally teach you. Xianxia laughed. She could not stand this kind of beauty either. She secretly praised Xianxia for being so fortunate to have such a few wives. Xianxia was inside the 6 realms mirrors, and right now he was thinking about how to find Peng Profoundfi. When Peng Profoundfi was taken away by De Peng's grandmother, he didn't know whether or not he had come to this place. The 6 realms mirrors was flying slowly, which could hide its presence even better. Initially, it was flying steadily, but suddenly a wave of chi surged, causing the 6 realms mirrors to sway back and forth. So powerful, what's going on? Xianxia did not immediately tell Xianxia about this matter. Instead, he told the 6 realms mirrors to avoid the giant boulders that were constantly being blown over. Those boulders came from the Headless Mountain Range. Many boulders from the Headless Mountain Range were blown into pieces. Countless rocks of different sizes and sizes swept over like waves, bringing along a horrifying thunderstorm. Could it be that there's a problem with the barrier? Xianxia felt that this was the only possibility. Xianxia also felt it was strange. The enchantment was extremely sturdy. Even if there was an intense battle erupting from inside, it would not be able to destroy the enchantment. From the looks of it, the barrier has been destroyed. Xianxia said. He continuously controlled his 6 realms mirrors and avoided the flying rocks of different sizes. Master, should we continue to go to the big barrier? The 6 realms mirrors found it difficult to move, and in front of it were many rocks that were accompanied by a violent hurricane. Go, you have to be careful. Your 6 realms mirrors shouldn't be that easy to destroy, right? Xianxia said. Something big might have happened over there. Xianxia was also very curious in his heart. Since Xianxia did not object, then he must go and take a look. After Qin Shuang found out about the situation outside, she was extremely worried because her grandfather was inside. Xianxia could see from the Six Realms mirrors that most of the headless mountains in front of them had been flattened. It could be seen how terrifying the energy wave that exploded out was. Xianxia controlled the Six Realms mirrors to fly quickly towards the barrier. When he was inside the Six Realms mirrors, he could see the glowing clouds in the sky. This meant that the barrier was still there, but he did not know what had happened. Half a day passed, and Xianxia had already arrived beside the barrier. Xianxia came out from the Yu Yao mountain villa. When she saw the barrier, she took a deep breath and exclaimed, "This barrier is very weak. Could it be related to the commotion from before?" "That's for sure," Xianxia said. "The Great Barrier must have been struck by an extremely powerful force, which was the reason why it was able to erupt with such terrifying power. Let's go, we have to go in and take a look." Ever since Xianxia had gained an in-depth understanding of Xianxia's Six Realms mirrors, she was even more at ease. Now, she understood Xianxia very well, and knew that Xianxia had many tricks up his sleeves that could guarantee her safety. This time, and Xianxia did not even need to use Xiang'er and Yu'er to open the spatial formation of the Six Realms mirrors to open a gap for the Six Realms mirrors, allowing it to pass through the barrier. "It's much weaker. What's the cause of it?" Inside the Six Realms mirrors, Xianxia looked inside the barrier. There were many flowers, plants, and trees inside, but they were not affected by the huge commotion earlier. Could it be that the attack came from the outside? Xianxia said, "There is no impact on this area. We need to be careful. It could also be some sort of powerful energy that attacks the barrier from the inside and wants to break through it." However, that energy was absorbed by the barrier and then released by it. Xianxia said. She was more familiar with this kind of barrier. Xianxia allowed the Six Realms mirrors to remain invisible as it slowly flew inside the barrier. "Let's go deeper in and take a look," Xianxia said. "Maybe Luo Zhiyang and the rest of the experts released something powerful." Xianxia nodded her head. She completely agreed with Xianxia's words. It was extremely difficult for people to enter or leave the place as a barrier had appeared. It was obvious that something was sealed inside. "I just feel that it's very strange. Why would this barrier weaken on the full moon's night?" Xianxia said as he frowned. This was also something that Xianxia was suspicious of before. He had asked Luo Zhiyang, but Luo Zhiyang didn't know either. The Six Realms mirrors slowly flew in the forest. Suddenly, with a bang, something suddenly fell from the sky, landing on the ground. Xianxia and Xianxia could see it from the Six Realms mirrors. It was a ball of black stuff, and it was a burnt person, still breathing. Xianxia shouted in shock. "This guy's smell is very familiar. I'll go take a look." When Xianxia came out of hiding from the Six Realms mirrors and clearly sensed this person's aura, he couldn't help but be shocked. "Dragon Elephant Leader." Xianxia anxiously brought the burnt man into the Six Realms mirrors, then made the Six Realms mirrors quickly leave. The Dragon Elephant Leader was an extremely strong existence here. It was an expert of the peak of world-defying magic realm, yet it was burnt to a crisp. Xianxia did not know if the thing was in his vicinity or if it would chase him. He just wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. Leader. Xianxia felt that the situation was serious. Dragon Elephant School was severely injured. Xianxia hastily asked the Mei Jing sisters to release a burst of majestic life force to stabilize the injuries of the Dragon and Elephant Leader. A few days had passed, and Six Realms mirrors had been hiding under the root of a large tree for the past few days. The Dragon Elephant Leader had already woken up. On the surface, there did not seem to be much, but his charred skin had already regenerated. However, his internal injuries were still not serious, especially in Divine Sense C. "Leader, what's going on? Who hurt you?" Xianxia saw that the Dragon Elephant Leader had woken up and asked anxiously. The name of the Dragon and Elephant Leader was Yuan Jiqing, and he was a very good elder. "You two little brats. Why was it here? What are you guys doing in here? It's very dangerous." When Yuan Jiqing saw that the young man from the Dragon Elephant School had obtained the legendary mantra, he became anxious. "We were ambushed by the Dragon Controlling Palace on the way. My parents blocked them. Let us escape first. Then we arrived here. There was a very scary commotion earlier. The headless mountain range was flattened by a very powerful force. What exactly happened here? Xiao Xianglin said. Dragon controlling palace. He actually stopped you? Was it to catch you? After Yuan Jiqing heard this, he became extremely furious. As he was injured, he almost vomited blood. Yuan Jiqing coughed a few times, then sighed. It's all our fault. We got such an incredible fellow here. Incredible fellow? Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin looked at each other, because this was their previous guess. Fortunately, Luo Jiang and Gu Tong used an extremely strong spatial formation to teleport that person away. I was merely struck by the flame power that was exploded out from that guy and ended up like this, Yuan Jiqing said. Xiao Xianglin was a leader, and among all the fellows, Yuan Jiqing was the strongest. However, he was actually severely injured by the aura and burned like a dead pig. You little devils. Don't spout nonsense when you get back. Okay? Seeing Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin's shocked expressions, Yuan Jiqing coughed a few times. Xiao Xianglin laughed. I understand, leader, now that you have been burnt to a crisp, we will definitely not talk about it anywhere. But you can't tell my parents either, we came all the way here. No problem. Yuan Jiqing laughed at this time. He had narrowly escaped death and was a lot more at ease. Leader, are your injuries serious? Chen Xiang asked. It's quite serious, but I have a transmission array plate that can protect my life, and can teleport back to the Dragon Elephant School. Yuan Jiqing took out an array disk and said, Do you want to go back with me? Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin finally reached this place with great difficulty. Of course they wouldn't go back. Although it was very dangerous here, it seemed to be safer now. Not for the time being. We still want to walk around here. Xiao Xianglin said. Then you guys have to be careful. Yuan Jiqing said, then looked around at his surroundings. This should be inside a divine artifact, right? Let me out. Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin accompanied Yuan Jiqing out of the Six Realms mirrors. After Yuan Jiqing saw the Six Realms mirrors, he praised, Good stuff, with this thing protecting you guys will be safer. You all must not get into trouble. You all possess legendary mantra. So in the future, you will be able to bring honor to our Dragon Elephant School. If you can become strong, you might even be able to become a leader in the future. All right, leader, hurry up and go back. You're not in a very good condition right now, and if something suddenly appears, you'll be in great danger. Xiao Xianglin urged. Little girl, do you dislike me dragging you guys down? Yuan Jiqing curled his lips, and then enlarged the formation plate. He said with extreme pain, Opening it once consumes 20 crystal emperors. When the array opened, Yuan Jiqing and the array disk disappeared. Isn't it just 20 crystal emperors? What's the big deal? Chun Xiang scoffed, disagreeing. Of course you feel that it's nothing. Your 3 young girl Danling can create several of them every day, and 20 of them will only take a few days. Xiao Xianglin was extremely jealous. Although he could not sell those crystal emperors, they could be used by him. Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin returned to the Six Realms mirrors. They wanted to continue investigating the place. When Xiao Xianglin entered the Yu Yao Mountain Villa, she wanted to continue instructing Su Meiyao and the others on how to learn the Tao Creation's incantation. It had to be said that under her guidance, Su Meiyao and the others were enlightened and gained a better understanding of the Tao Creation's incantation. Chun Xiang, on the other hand, allowed the Six Realms mirrors to slowly fly. Ahu! What exactly is this place? Chun Xiang asked. When Ahu was a legendary mantra, he had stayed here for many years, so he should know a lot of things. First Tao Creation Ancestor's Tomb. Ahu said, According to the memories in the depths of my soul, this should be the tomb of a first Tao Creation ancestor. Chun Xiang told Ahu what had just happened. What I know is only the memories in the depths of my soul. As for whether it is true, I am not too clear. I do not think that the first Tao Creation ancestor would die that easily, but why did they create such a tomb, I do not know. Ahu said. In the Tao Creation place, there was actually some first Tao Creation ancestor. It was clear that he was a very powerful being. Chun Xiang just wanted to walk around and see if he could find anything good. After the Six Realms mirrors flew for half a day, Chun Xiang suddenly saw a person. It was the mortal life sect's leader Zhou Wenxing. The one who was pierced was the Tao Creation School, Wan Haishu. The mortal life sect and the Tao Creation School were not on good terms. Xiao Xianglin had told Xianxia before. Although Zhou Wenxing was also injured, he was not as seriously injured as Wan Haishu. Now that he had met Wan Haishu again, he felt that this was a good opportunity. Once the leader-s of the Tao Creation School-s were killed by him, even with Gutong taking charge, they would definitely decline for a period of time. His mortal life sect would rise greatly in power because he had just obtained the legendary mantra S. Zhou Wenxing was one of the few leader who could obtain legendary mantra. I already knew that your mortal life sect was not a good place, humph. Wan Haishu's throat was bleeding, he said with difficulty. Even if I die, your mortal life sect will never be able to catch up to our Tao Creation School. Ha ha. After you die, who else is in Tao Creation School? Gutong? Gutong might already be dead. Ha ha. Zhou Wenxing laughed out loud, and suddenly pulled out his sword, causing more blood to spurt out from Wan Haishu's neck. Zhou Wenxing laughed crazily. Just as he was about to stab the sword, he felt a slight pain on his neck. He immediately realized that his neck had been slashed by a sharp sword. He anxiously used his hand to hold down his head. He did not want his head to fall, because his neck had already been cut by Xianxia's sword. It was just that Xianxia's speed was extremely fast, and his sword was extremely sharp, so in that moment, Zhou Wenxing did not feel anything. Even if his head were to hit the ground, as long as he managed to reconnect in time, he would still be able to live. Although Wan Haishu's throat was pierced, he was an expert of the peak of world-defying magic realm. When they are the leader-s of the mortal life sect, the mortal life sect will be even more destitute. Xiao Xianglin had already come out of Yu Yao Mountain Villa with a sharp sword in his hand, as he laughed coldly. Zhou Wenxing never thought that Xiao Xianglin would actually be here. He couldn't help but think that maybe Xiao Xianglin's parents were also here, that someone from the Dragon Elephant School had returned. He was very clear about the relationship between the Dragon Elephant School and himself. Little girl, even if I am seriously injured, killing you will be as easy as flipping my palm. Zhou Wenxing turned around and slashed his sword towards Xiao Xianglin with lightning speed, but Xiao Xianglin dodged it. Zhou Wenxing's hand was still pressing down on his head, pressing down on his neck. At the same time, he operated his cultivation technique to connect the flesh and blood on his neck, quickly connecting them together, otherwise it would be extremely disadvantageous to him. Zhou Wenxing slowly turned around, looked at Xiao Xianglin, and laughed coldly. Little girl, you are only us. Earlier I wasn't paying attention, so you ambushed me instead. Xianxia, who was hiding in the back, raised his 6 realms mirrors and smashed it fiercely onto Zhou Wenxing's head. Originally, Zhou Wenxing's head and neck had already separated, cut off by Xianxia earlier, but just as he was about to stick it back, Xianxia ruthlessly slapped his head, sending him flying. After his head flew off, Xiao Xianglin laughed out loud. She used the sword to knock his head to the ground, and then used her foot to step on Zhou Wenxing's head. She laughed, I don't even need to get close to you. I can still step on your dog head. Although his head and body were separated, Zhou Wenxing's mind was extremely clear. He was furious. He did not expect there to be someone else, and that someone was hiding behind him. Zhou Wenxing had already felt his body being burned by a strong flame, and he threw his body into the Tianchuang furnace to roast. Xiao Xianglin waved his sword and was about to stab down, but Xianxia immediately shouted out, Wait! Xianxia got by Yu to come out from the Yu Yao Mountain Villa. Sister Yu, this guy has a legendary mantra. Go and see if you can get it or not. All right. Bai Yu very roughly pressed his hand down on that head, then roughly used the soul-absorbing devil spell. Earlier, when Zhou Wenxing was struck, Divine Sensei suffered heavy injuries, and his soul was also very weak. Even if Bai Yu's cultivation was very low, she could still easily search through the memories of his soul. Zhou Wenxing's face contorted in pain. It could be seen how impolite she was to use the soul-absorbing devil spell, since she was worried that it would devour her. So when she used the soul-absorbing devil spell, she used her strongest soul attack to ravage Zhou Wenxing's soul, making it easier for her to search through her memories. Xiao Xianglin looked extremely surprised. She had already understood from Xianxiang's words just now that Bai Yuyu was searching for the legendary mantra within Zhou Wanxing's soul. All right. Bai Yuyu's forehead was also drenched in sweat. She heaved a sigh of relief. To deal with someone with such a high cultivation level, it was pretty strenuous. Let me do it. The second time Xiao Xianglin was preparing to attack, Tao Creation School, who was crawling up, shouted weakly as he walked over with a fan in hand. All right. Xiao Xianglin only felt a little regretful. After all, killing a leader was something with a sense of accomplishment, although this kind of thing couldn't be displayed everywhere. Just as Wan Haishu was about to arrive, he suddenly fell. His injuries were severe, and Chen Xiang had already went over to take care of him. Let me do it. Xiao Xianglin waved her sword and killed Zhou Wanxing in 2 to 3 strikes. She only felt that it was a pity that such a thing could not be known. If it was spread out, it would bring a lot of face, but it would definitely bring about a lot of trouble. Girl, you... I should have done it. Wan Haishu rested for a while and recovered some strength. But Zhou Wanxing had already been killed by Xiao Xianglin. It's all the same, all the same. Xiao Xianglin laughed. Thousand Leader, how are you right now? Much better. Wan Haishu sighed. It's really dangerous this time. I managed to escape death twice in a row. Is there any leader that has been killed? Xiao Xianglin asked as if she hated those leaderess. I'm not sure. In short, everyone should be around the same. Wan Haishu asked, why did you come in? He has been in here for a long time. The leader was injured earlier and was rescued by us. He has returned to the Dragon Elephant School. Chan Xiang asked, Thousand Leader, do you have that kind of transmission array that allows one to return to the sect? Of course there is. I will activate it now. Do you want to come back with me? It's all thanks to you guys this time. Otherwise, I would have been killed by that guy. Wan Haishu took out an array disk. It seemed that they all had this kind of thing. No need to thank us. You should have a Tao Creation Holy Stone. Giving each of us one would be enough. Xiao Xianglin laughed. Wan Haishu almost vomited blood. But he still took out 2 Tao Creation Holy Stone and passed it over to Chan Xiang and Xiao Xianglin with a pained expression. Oh right. You can't just randomly talk about this. Wan Haishu said. Especially about the matter of me having my throat pierced by that guy. I know this is a very humiliating matter. We won't talk about it. Xiao Xianglin nodded his head. You can't talk too much about the matter of us getting rid of that fellow. I understand. I understand. Wan Haishu opened the array disk and felt a wave of pain, because this would consume a lot of his Crystal Emperor, but he did not have a choice. He did not know what would happen if he continued to stay here, but he was extremely weak right now, and he had to return to the Tao Creation School to recuperate. After Wan Haishu left, Xiao Xianglin laughed complacently. This time, it's really a bountiful harvest. Chun Xiang obtained another Tao Creation Holy Stone. He now had a total of 4 in total, and never had a chance to use the one he obtained previously. That's right. It seems like we really did get it right. Chen Xiang laughed. It's a pity that I didn't ask Yuan Jiqing for anything special. So I asked him to give me a few Crystal Emperor as well. Xiao Xianglin thought about this with a face full of pain. Chun Xiang thought of Huang Jintian. He remembered that Huang Jintian was also like this. The biggest gain is still the legendary mantra that elder sister Yu 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 obtained. Chun Xiang said, as long as sister Yu 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 grasps that legendary mantra, she can teach us. Yes, if that's the case, then we can all learn 3 legendary mantra. This is too awesome. Xiao Xianglin excitedly patted Chun Xiang's shoulders. Let's go. We'll continue to take advantage of them. Xiao Xianglin laughed sinisterly. But many of the leaderess here are severely injured. If they are in a better situation, we can save them. If they are in a bad situation, let Master take care of them, such as the Dragon Controlling Palace's Palace Masters. All right. Chun Xiang also hated Dragon Controlling Palace to the bone. It would be best if we could get Hu to come out and look for someone from the Dragon Controlling Palace. Chan Xiang's eyes lit up as he laughed. Hu is merged with a dragon horse and can sense the aura of a dragon. The Hall Master of Dragon Controlling Palace must have many dragons. If we capture the Hall Master of the Dragon Controlling Palace, we will definitely be able to reap many dragons. We can use these dragons to cultivate even more dragons and elephants. When Xianxia thought about this, he became extremely excited and immediately urged Xianxia to release Ahu. After Xianxia released Ahu, Ahu quickly sensed his presence. Great, this guy is not dead yet. He is still here. Xianxia took a few deep breaths, as if he was going to obtain a large amount of treasures. Master, calm down. Let's go in and use the 6 realms mirrors to sneak in, Xianxia said. After Xianxia and Xianxia entered the 6 realms mirrors, Xianxia began to slowly fly in the direction that Ahu had told him to. It seems like those elders are all dead. Xianxia sighed. Our Dragon Elephant School also has a few pretty good elders. The world is unpredictable. Xianxia sighed. Even the leader was severely injured, so those elders would have had a hard time surviving. Fortunately, they had let the younger generation out earlier, otherwise all of them would have died here. Of course, Xianxia and Xianxia thought that they would be fine. Xianxia did not let Ahu out either. He was worried that the Hall Master of the Dragon Controlling Palace would sense Ahu. The Hall Master must have ordered someone to stop us, Xianxia said angrily. This bastard, we must catch him. While the 6 realms mirrors was flying, a faint voice suddenly came from the front. Someone was talking with them. It's all Luo Zhiyang's fault. If he didn't discover this place, we wouldn't have met with this kind of situation. Several of my Dragon Controlling Palace's protectors died. The Hall Master of the Dragon Controlling Palace said angrily. Isn't that so? They were the ones who obtained the legendary mantra, but we suffered such a heavy loss. An old man sighed. Xianxia recognized the old man. He was an elder of the Tsang Soul sect. The Dragon Controlling Palace's palace master was severely injured. Both of his arms were actually gone, while the elder's lower half of his body was broken by the explosion. Luo Zhiyang and Gu Tong should both be dead. The people who released this time are so terrifying, and Luo Zhiyang and Gu Tong are also slightly stronger than us. Dragon Controlling Palace leader laughed coldly. I have to say, they are quite righteous to take that guy away. Humph, this is their fault. Otherwise, that guy would only be sealed here. The Tsang Soul sect elder disdainfully replied. He's only making up for his mistakes. The elders of the Dragon Controlling Palace leader and the Tsang Soul sect were of the same kind. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gathered together. Xianxia was carefully observing them. This made Xianxia feel that although the two of them looked severely injured, their auras weren't weak. I am only at the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage, and they are from the peak of world-defying magic realm. If their divine sense C did not receive any injuries, the aura they released would have a great impact on me. Xianxia calculated in his heart, and then immediately discussed the matter with Xianxia. Master, it looks like you will have to make a move, Xianxia said. On the surface, these two look crippled, but their divine sense CS did not sustain much damage, so they can still release a very strong power. At most, they can't move, and their bodies only get severely injured. It's not easy to take them down. Don't be in such a hurry to make a move. I'll go out and take a look, Xianxia said. Of course Xianxia would not make a move, he was only watching from afar. Xianxia sneaked out of the 6 realms mirrors. Xianxia anxiously used the counterpower to hide her presence. The moment she came out, she heard the clan elder of the Tsang Soul sect say coldly, It's all because of those 2 little bastards of the Dragon Elephant School. If it wasn't for their sudden appearance, we would have probably obtained the legendary mantra. The next time I see them, I must pinch them to death. The Dragon Controlling Palace leader laughed sinisterly. Let them be. The legendary mantra will be mine sooner or later anyway. After he finished speaking, he used some unknown method to cause his arm to suddenly grow out, but he still looked very weak. Don't tell me Hall Master has some kind of secret plan? When the elders of the Tsang Soul sect saw the laughter of the Dragon Controlling Palace leader, they immediately thought of something. It's not some clever plan, it's just stealing from them. As long as I catch those 2 brats, I will have a way to get the legendary mantra from their bodies. Dragon Controlling Palace leader snickered. The Tsang Soul sect elder took a deep breath. This is going against the dragon subduing school. If the dragon elephant school finds out, they will definitely join hands with the Tao creation school to deal with your dragon controlling palace. After saying this, the elder of the Tsang Soul sect felt that something was amiss. His heart trembled, because he already knew the secret. The dragon controlling palace leader would definitely kill him. Hall Master, I didn't hear what you said just now. He currently had no legs and could not fly, but dragon controlling palace leader seemed to be completely intact, and he could still stand up, so killing him would not be difficult. I'm sorry you heard it. Dragon controlling palace leader stood up and revealed a Tao creation divine weapon. It was a very sharp sword. Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin were both watching from afar. This kind of thing was something that they enjoyed seeing. Tsang Soul sect was so weak and his legs were useless to dragon controlling palace leader. When the time came, dragon controlling palace leader would even want to bring him out, but if he didn't, he would say something about him being unloyal or something, so he might as well just kill him. The Tsang Soul sect elder trembled from head to toe, perspiring profusely. Hall Master, I have the Tao Creation S and Holy Stone S. I can give it to you as long as you take me out. Tao Creation Holy Stone were still quite precious to the dragon controlling palace leader. Tao Creation Holy Stone? How many are there? Dragon controlling palace leader was moved. If he could take this elder out, then he could have a piece of Tao Creation Holy Stone. That would be good. After all, there was nothing to kill after they leave. 1. The elder of the Tsang Soul sect said. Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin were secretly dissatisfied. It was only one pellet, it was not even enough for them to split it. You really only have one? Dragon controlling palace leader's expression was gloomy and cold, as though he was extremely dissatisfied. Isn't one enough? The Tsang Soul sect elder said with a bitter face. I really only have one Tao Creation Holy Stone. Your life is so precious. How can a single Tao Creation Holy Stone be enough? Dragon controlling palace leader was already brandishing his sword. The dragon controlling palace leader and the Tsang Soul sect were originally the same type of people. They should have been working together. But now the dragon controlling palace leader actually did such a thing. It could be seen how cruel they were to their enemies. Chun Xiang never had a good impression of the dragon controlling palace, because he sent the dragon controlling gods to rob other people's dragons everywhere, and this made him hate the dragon controlling palace. Seeing that the sword was about to cut down, the Tsang Soul sect elder anxiously said, although I only have one of the Tao Creation S, but I know where the Tao Creation's divine crystals are. The Tao Creation's sacred crystal. Hearing those words, Chun Xiang and Xiao Xianglin became excited, and dragon controlling palace leader put down his sword. Don't play any tricks on me. Dragon controlling palace leader's face became extremely sinister and ruthless. If you dare to mess with me, I guarantee that I'll make you beg for death. How dare I? He took out a small wooden box and said, inside this is a Tao Creation Holy Stone. The moment the box appeared, Xiao Xianglin had already flown out of the 6 realms mirrors. In just an instant, he had arrived behind dragon controlling palace leader and slashed towards his waist. Dragon controlling palace leader could feel that someone had suddenly attacked him, but the other party was too fast. With his injuries, the reaction of his body could not keep up with his consciousness, causing his movements to be slow. Xiao Xianglin's sword strike was crisp and clean. In an instant, it broke dragon controlling palace leader's waist, and after dragon controlling palace leader's upper body fell onto the ground, Xiao Xianglin fiercely leaped up, then allowed his body to fall down heavily like a giant boulder. Both of his feet fiercely stepped on dragon controlling palace leader's chest and completely dispersed dragon controlling palace leader's energy that he was about to release. He knew that there was someone ambushing dragon controlling palace leader, and he was secretly happy in his heart, but at the same time he was also terrified because the person who acted just now was extremely ruthless. Just as he was about to put away the small wooden box, it suddenly disappeared. Chun Xiang had already went over and took the small wooden box away. After the counterpower on Xiao Xianglin's body disappeared, the moment he appeared, the elder of Tsang Soul sect was completely stunned. The person who had acted so viciously was actually a woman, the Xiao Xianglin he hated the most previously. Old bastard, You said that you would pinch me to death the next time you see me. Come and pinch me to death. At this time, Xiao Xianglin was stepping on dragon-controlling palace leader's head, and dragon-controlling palace leader's face was facing downwards, deeply sinking into the ground. Dragon-controlling palace leader was also shocked. He never thought that Xiao Xianglin would be here, because he had already sent over 10 strong dragon-controlling gods to stop Xiao Xianglin and the rest. They should not be here. I was just joking. Just as the Tsang Soul sect elder finished speaking, Xiao Xianglin stepped heavily on his leg. Are you joking? Do you think I'm that gullible as a child? Chun Xiang had also appeared, but he did not dare approach the Tsang Soul sect clan elder, as he was worried that the old fellow would perish together with him. Xiao Xianglin stepped on the dragon-controlling palace leader's head and laughed coldly. You dog thief! You sent more than 10 fellows to intercept us, wanting to snatch us away, right? You! Just as dragon-controlling palace leader wanted to speak, his head was ruthlessly stepped on by Xiao Xianglin again, causing him, the divine sense C, to almost collapse. Slut! Dragon-controlling palace leader was very angry. He, the great hall master of the dragon-controlling palace, had actually been humiliated like this by a little girl. Xiao Xianglin did not waste any more words with him. He threw a palm at dragon-controlling palace leader's head, killing him. When the Tsang Soul sect elder saw this, he felt utter despair. When he said those words just now, he was sure to make Xiao Xianglin hate him to the bones. You want to self-destruct? It's not that easy. Xiao Xianglin leaped over and kicked the half of the Tsang Soul sect elder's body flying. When she kicked, she released a strong amount of power that could not be underestimated and struck the Tsang Soul sect elder's body, dispersing the gathered power of self-detonation. After the Tsang Soul sect elder was kicked away, Xiao Xianglin immediately followed. He punched his head twice, directly hitting his soul, causing the elder to be on the verge of death. Quick! Get you out of here. We want to know where the Tao Creation's divine crystal is located. Xiao Xianglin anxiously said. He's about to die. Bai Yuyu had already come out and used the soul-absorbing devil spell on the Tsang Soul sect elders, so they quickly found the information they were looking for. It's in Tsang Soul sect. Bai Yuyu said. Tsang Soul sect had just obtained a piece of Tao Creation's divine crystal, and is being kept in a secret room in Tsang Soul sect. Do you know how you obtained the Tao Creation's sacred crystal? Directly going to the Tsang Soul sect to retrieve it is unrealistic. As Xiao Xianglin spoke, he exterminated the elder. When the Tsang Soul sect and a few elders went out, they met an old man who was wandering around. When they found out that the old man had the Tao Creation's divine crystal, they took it from him. Bai Yuyu said, the guy you killed just now also participated in this. From his memories, I understood that old man Yun Yu was extremely strange. Even though the Tao Creation's holy crystal was stolen, he wasn't too excited, and seemed to have been opened all of a sudden. Xiao Xianglin furrowed his brows and said, it's been a very long time since the Tao Creation's holy crystal last appeared. At least I've never heard of anyone who had it. I'm very curious as to where that wandering old man got it from. We need to find that wandering old man. Xiao Xianglin looked at Chunxiang and said, Chunxiang, do you have any plans? My plan is to go to the Tsang Soul sect and take away the Tao Creation's holy crystal. Since the Tsang Soul sect stole it, we can't leave it for them. Chunxiang said, I don't think that's difficult. If we meet old man Yun Yu, we should return the Tao Creation's holy crystal to him. This should help us get closer to him. Let's see if he can find out anything. Xiao Xianglin thought for a moment, then said, all right, let's carry it out as you planned, but we need to look around here and see if we can find the Tsang Soul sect. Chun Xiang rode on his 6 realms mirrors and flew in the forest. After more than 10 days had passed, they had only found more than 10 corpses, all belonging to the elders. There were no longer any leader-s present. Let's go back. Chun Xiang said. This time the harvest is not small. In these past 10 days, Chun Xiang had already carefully investigated the center of the place. That place only had a very large pit, and there wasn't anything else there, and also, he could see some broken corpses from time to time. It could be seen how powerful the power that erupted at that time was, that not even the experts of the world-defying stage divine rank could resist against it. Xianxia rode on his 6 realms mirrors and headed to Tsang Soul sect. When I just arrived in Tao Creation Place, I met some disciples of Tsang Soul sect. Xianxia thought of that little baldy. He looked like a child, but he could become a teenager. Is that so? Xiao Xianglin laughed. So now you want to go back to take revenge? That's not true. I don't put this matter to heart, but if I meet that group of people again, they will more or less at ease. Back then, they planned to beat me up, Xianxia said. At that time, it was also because of the big senior sister of the disciples that were present, otherwise they would have definitely taken action. Xianxia spent a few days to arrive at a city near the Tsang Soul sect. This city was the same as the one near Tao Creation School. There were no city walls, and only relying on strength to occupy land. Xiao Xianglin was more familiar with this place. She told Xianxia to go and find out if the Tsang Soul sects were not in the sect. Xianxia and Xiao Xianglin decided to use the Tao Creation Holy Stone that they had previously obtained from the Elder to conduct an experiment and refine the Tao Creation incantation. The main thing was to refine the destructive Tao Creation incantation and increase spell, which were used for attack and defense. Xiao Xianglin did not plan to return to the Dragon Elephant School so early, because once they did, it would be difficult for them to leave the place, because they had already promised Xiao Hengyong that they would quickly return to the Dragon Elephant School. But they took so long to do so. Since they were wandering outside and not very strong, they naturally had to take precautions. Although there were Crystal Emperoress, Xianxia felt that it was still not enough. Thus he decided to use a piece of Tao Creation Holy Stone to refine it. The disciples of the Tsang Soul sect are truly amazing. A little kid is already so amazing. Yes, a little child is actually able to defeat someone who is at the peak of Aoshi Holy Stage. But the disciples of the Tsang Soul sect are also confused. Why did they set up such a stage for no reason? Isn't it just to earn Tao Crystal? As long as you defeat that little demon, you will be able to obtain a piece of Tao Creation Holy Stone. If you lose, you just have to give a Crystal Emperor to anyone who doesn't want to try their luck. As Xianxia was walking on the road, when he heard the news, the little baldy's image appeared in his mind. Brothers, are you talking about a bald child? Xianxia immediately walked over and asked. Yes, yes, yes. He has a shiny skull and is rather arrogant. A large man said. Can anyone challenge it? Any cultivation is fine? Xianxia asked. Of course not world-defying stage divine rank. That arrogant bald man laughed. That arrogant bald man should also be at the peak of Aoshi Holy Stage. After Xianxia found out where the stage was, he immediately rushed over. Soon, he saw the little baldy sitting on a large chair in the arena. Below the stage, there were a few young men and an old man. Those young men were the ones who wanted to make a move against Xianxia previously. They were all from the world-defying stage divine rank. After Xiao Xianglin changed her appearance, she came out from the Yu Yao Mountain Villa. Looking carefully, she sneered. This brat is from the world-defying stage divine rank. This guy, he actually tricked us. Xianxia cursed. Should we expose them? Of course they want to. They've tricked quite a few Crystal Emperor, exposing them. Don't let them continue to cheat. Xiao Xianglin supported Xianxia very much. There were quite a few people watching from all around the plaza. They were all bored because they wanted to see how this bald child could beat those seemingly strong adults time and time again so that he could earn Crystal Emperoress. If you win, you get a piece of Tao Creation Holy Stone, and if you lose, you have to give a piece of Crystal Emperor. As long as you have confidence in yourself, you will give it a try. Xianxia said. The majority of the people who were defeated were the young masters of the aristocratic families. Only they had Crystal Emperoress to bet on. Xiao Xianglin said. Xianxia had already walked over and asked loudly, This one wants to challenge the divine blue soul child. His real name was Lu Yifeng. Xianxia had seen him turn into a teenager before, so he knew that this was not a child. Show your Crystal Emperor first. An old man anxiously said, his eyes suddenly lighting up, because in their eyes, Xianxia was just like a big fat sheep. Xianxia took out a piece of Crystal Emperor, threw it in his hands a few times, then put it away. If I use Crystal Emperor, then do you really have Tao Creation Holy Stone? Of course we do. The old man carefully took out a light golden stone about the size of a grain of rice from a wooden box. Xianxia only needed a glance to know that it was a Tao Creation Holy Stone, and the quality was not bad either. If you want to challenge us, you need to test the cultivation of the world-defying Holy Soul, because our divine child is only a Aoshi Holy Stage. If he is from the world-defying stage divine rank, he will not be able to beat us, the old man said as he took out a crystal ball for Xianxia to place his hand on. After Xianxia placed his hand on it, the crystal ball shone with a faint golden light. From the looks of it, he should be at the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage. I really didn't know that you had such a high cultivation level at such a young age. The old man had a fake smile on his face as he flattered Xianxia. Where is your child prodigy? What if he is from the world-defying stage divine rank? He wants to take the test too, Xianxia said. They had all heard earlier that Xianxia was only at the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage, and that even someone at the peak of Aoshi Holy Stage would not be able to defeat the divine child Lu Yifeng, let alone Xianxia. In order to be fair, of course he'll take the test. The old man anxiously went up to the stage for Lu Yifeng to test him. Lu Yifeng's face was filled with ridicule as he looked at Xianxia. After that, he sneered and coldly snorted, before placing his hand on the crystal ball. Is there a problem with this crystal ball? Xianxia knew that there was something fishy about this. No problem. I'm from the world-defying stage divine rank. Look if you don't believe me. The old man tested it himself, and indeed, the crystal ball immediately glowed in a golden light. Can I prepare for a few days? Xianxia took out a few myriad Tao divine soil crystals. This is my challenge. I will come again 10 days later. Sure. The old man immediately nodded with a smile. Xianxia had taken out quite a few myriad Tao divine soil crystals, which looked to be about 10 kilograms. Originally, Xianxia wanted to expose him, but Xianxia suddenly changed his mind and allowed him to defeat this godly child. After Xianxia walked down the stage, he immediately went to investigate and found out that the Tsang Soul sect had returned a long time ago and had immediately closed up. It was obvious that he had suffered serious injuries and would take a long time to recover. When Lu Yifeng saw Xianxia, he sneered. This guy probably thinks he can break through in 10 days, so he planned to come challenge me. Just now, I could tell that he had already reached the peak of the late stage of Aoshi Holy Stage, and would soon step into the peak. But he can't beat you. The old man smiled slightly. In the past few days we have already earned 9 Crystal Emperor. Adding on to his, it would be 10. We can also stop now and come back after a while to avoid arousing suspicion. Lu Yifeng nodded his head. 10 Crystal Emperors to disciples of their level was already a large amount, so it was usually not easy to obtain. Xianxia randomly picked an inn with a secret room to stay in and hid inside. Master, I can't beat that kid right now. He's a world-defying stage divine rank user after all. Xianxia said, Oh right. Tell me, what's special about the world-defying stage divine rank? The most powerful thing about the world-defying stage divine rank is that it evolved into a prideful divine soul, and then it developed a arrogant morale. The moment one stepped into the world-defying stage divine rank, this kind of arrogant morale was very weak, but it was extremely terrifying. Xianxia said, Master, then how can I defeat that kid? Xianxia really wanted to teach that fake god-child a lesson, but he knew his own strength. You will first have to step into the peak of Aoshi Holy Stage. Xianxia said, You will use the time domain and step in within 10 days. When the time comes for you to fight, and then use the Tao Creation's incantation, I believe that you will definitely win. It'll be difficult to compete in terms of price if you step into the peak of Aoshi Holy Stage. Xianxia said, My current physical body is strong enough, but those few world-defying Holy Soul are unable to level up, which prevents me from obtaining an even stronger power. Previously, when Xianxia had eaten Blood Shark Fitness Dan, his body had become very strong. Now, he could level up his world-defying Holy Soul, but he didn't know how he could improve so quickly. We can only go look and see if there are any pills here that can help us level up world-defying holy soul. Xianxia walked onto the street and, according to what Xianxia had said, found a very large medicine shop. After entering, he directly asked if he wanted to buy the holy elixir. The holy elixir is a god-tier high-rank primordial pellet. Normally, one would only need to eat one every year for a few hundred years to be able to advance from the late stage of Aoshi holy stage to the pinnacle. Xianxia said. Of course Xianxia wouldn't wait after a few hundred years. He bought this pill to see if he could get the recipe. A crystal emperor, the manager said. Precious. Xianxia muttered to himself but still earnestly bought it. The quality of the pellet was also not bad. It was not a loss at all. Xianxia returned to the secret room of the inn, entered the 6 realms mirrors, and fed it to Hifengyuan. A crystal emperor just disappeared. Xianxia curled his lips. You didn't lose anything. If I could analyze the pill formula, you would have earned a lot. Hifengyuan rolled his eyes at him, then closed his eyes. He didn't know if she was going to analyze the composition of the pellet or refine it. Hifengyuan was crippled by Xianxia, but then she accidentally went back to the space holy soul, so she wanted to recover her strength. Xianxia sat at the side, quietly waiting. He thought it would take a while, but unexpectedly, it had only been an hour or so when Hifengyuan opened his eyes and said, as long as there are 2 types of medicinal ingredients, they are both high-grade, proud divine medicine. What kind of medicinal herb? Xianxia asked anxiously. Hifengyuan took out 2 transparent crystals, and a light shot out from between his brows into one of the crystals. A pink flower appeared inside the crystal. There were only 3 petals in the small pink flower, and there was a faint gold border around the petals. This is the golden pink godly flower. Hifengyuan said, there must be pills in the shop, but it's hard to say if I can buy them. Since the pill shop has it, why can't I buy it? Xianxia said. I've never heard of this pill before, and it seems to be a self-made pill created by a large force. The medicinal ingredients needed for this pill are definitely in the shop, but they're not for sale. Hifengyuan said, if someone wants to buy it, they will definitely be on their guard. Xianxia said, yes, normally speaking, the medicinal ingredients required to refine a pellet of this level are all very cheap, but after refining the pellet, the price for the pellet would be hundreds of times, 1,000 times higher than the price of the medicinal ingredients. If I can sell it through pill refining, am I not rich? Xianxia had 3 young girl danling. He felt that if he needed them, he could refine even more young girl danling. If he gathered a large amount of Crystal Emperor and used them to buy Tao Creation Holy Stone, not only would he be able to obtain a large amount of pills, he would also be able to obtain a large amount of materials to level up his strength. You have to refine it first, Xianxia said as he came out from the Yu Yao Mountain Villa. Hifengyuan continued, the second type of medicinal herb should be a type of grass. If I'm not wrong, it's the Saint Caterpillar grasses. All right, Poison Woman, how did you know about these medicinal ingredients? Have you ever eaten before? You definitely haven't eaten it before. After all, you have to have eaten a large amount of various medicinal ingredients to be able to analyze it. Xianxia was very suspicious about this. Xianxia also nodded his head. For someone to be able to analyze the ingredients in a pill, Xianxia had never heard of such a talent. If it was discovered by the pill forces, they would definitely go crazy and snatch it away. This is my secret. If I don't want to say it, then I won't say it. Hifengyuan snorted lightly. She was once the empress of a huge empire, and the reason she had fallen to this extent was all thanks to Xianxia. She hated Xianxia to the bones, but because she saw that Xianxia had a powerful master, she didn't exchange insults with him. Then how can I obtain these 2 medicinal herbs? Go directly to the pill shop and ask. This will definitely be discovered. Xianxia curled his lips and looked at Xianxia. Xianxia spread out his hands and said, I'm only good at smithing, and if you let me get some smithing materials, I don't have any problems with it, but I don't know much about concocting pills. Even my parents don't know much about it. Don't call me a wicked woman in the future. I'll tell you one way. Hifengyuan suddenly said. All right, Fengyuan beauty. Quickly tell me the method, Xianxia anxiously said. She had thought that Xianxia would be reserved for a bit, but he had actually called her that right away. She had even wanted to see Xianxia give in after getting strong, and in the end, give in after a bit of hesitation. You! He Feng Yuan snorted unhappily. Beauty Feng Yuan, quickly tell me, don't dilly-dally. Time is of the essence. Xianxia said. He still had 10 days to go beat up that bullshit godchild. He had to hurry and level up. You go and squat at the entrance of the medicine shop, and let me out of the 6 realms mirrors. As soon as I see the person who grew the herbs come out, I'll tell you, I want you to buy this guy and then buy the golden essence flowers and holy caterpillar grass from him. As long as you buy the half-dead ones, you should be able to grow them. He Feng Yuan said. Sure. Xianxia nodded. He told He Feng Yuan to come out from the 6 realms mirrors and asked her to cover her face. She sat inside a small carriage and waited outside the medicine store. After half a day, an old man came out from the cave, and He Feng Yuan anxiously said, It's this guy. He has the aura of multiple medicinal herbs on him. Is your nose really that sharp? He could even see that. Is that true? Xianxia used the Dao Heart Eye to look around, but didn't find anything. Do you believe me or not? He Feng Yuan said. After Xianxia placed He Feng Yuan into the 6 realms mirrors, he followed behind the old man. The old man entered a luxurious hotel. No one knew what he was doing, but Xianxia followed behind him, catching up to him while they were climbing the stairs. Old mister! Xianxia shouted. Did you grow medicinal herbs in Song Yuan's shop? The old man nodded. He was only responsible for growing the medicinal ingredients, so he didn't know what pill they would concoct. What is it? You want to work in the pill shop? The old man guessed. That's not it. I just want you to buy some medicinal ingredients. The withering kind. Xianxia said. If you can buy it, this is yours. Xianxia took out a piece of crystal emperor. In order to take advantage of the holy elixir, he threw caution to the wind, because the crystal emperor he was using now was a naturally formed crystal emperor. What medicinal herb? The old man stared at the crystal emperor with his eyes wide open. He never thought that there would be such a deal. He was only growing medicinal herbs in the shop. Although the reward was not bad, it was far from being able to compare to the crystal emperor. Xianxia immediately took out the crystals with the images of the holy caterpillar grass and the golden pink godly flower. The old man looked at them and quickly nodded. Wait for me here for an hour. An hour later, Xianxia had obtained the 2 medicinal herbs, the golden nectar divine flower and the holy caterpillar grass. They were already withered, but they were still a little angry, and he immediately passed them to Jiang Xijing to take care of. Elder brother Xin, didn't you obtain a strange seed in the strange mountain in the blood mud plains last time? Jiang Xijing said. Yeah. I almost forgot. Xianxia immediately thought about the seed. Back then, he was frozen in place by the light released by the seed. Later on, the light released by the seed froze on another dragon controlling gods, and it was because of this that he was able to easily kill that dragon controlling gods. That seed has sprouted. Jiang Xijing said. Do you want to take a look? Xianxia returned to the secret room in the inn. Upon entering the Yu Yao Mountain Villa, he saw a small bud that was emitting a light green color that looked like a tree. I wonder if it can release that kind of strange light? Xianxia tried to control the tree and indeed, it released a strong white light. Jiang Ximei, who was by the side, was suddenly frozen, unable to move, and could only speak. Xianxia anxiously controlled the sapling to release light. After being exposed to the light, Jiang Ximei was able to move again. It was extremely mystical. When you grow up, what will you become? Xianxia was extremely curious. When you have time, you should be carefully growing them. I know. Jiang Xijing nodded. She had already started to release her power of regeneration, reviving the 2 withered medicinal herbs. The Meijing sisters and the others were in charge of growing the herbs right now. They had a very good set of methods that could quickly grow a large amount of herbs. Just by using triple time field on them for a day, Xianxia already had several tens of batches of medicinal ingredients. Refining this kind of pill is not difficult, especially for you. He Feng Yuan said as he saw the medicinal ingredients that Xianxia had taken out. This is not Tao Creation's divine pellet. It won't be difficult for you. Thailand's most popular female anchorwoman new love video exposure down the male host.